Week 8 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few hitters I look to buy and trade for this week. The first hitter, Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So Corbin Carroll, he was a late round, early second round pick in fantasy drafts, and it's been a bust of a season for him, no doubt about it. 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, 20 runs scored, 8 stolen bases, a 191 average, and a 279 on base. And over the last couple weeks here for Carroll, he just hasn't done anything at all pretty much. 1 home run, 7 RBIs, 6 runs scored, a 160 average, and a 232 on base for Corbin Carroll. So Carroll, last season was a great year for him, obviously MVP type candidate. 54 stolen bases, 25 home runs, 76 RBIs with a 285 average and a 362 on base. But this season, he's been the biggest bust in my opinion in fantasy baseball. I know it's only 2 months in, but right now I think Carroll, it's only up from here, especially hitting under 200 on the year. And we know that he's got a good skill set and has 5.2 quality. So right now, definitely buy him low, and you could get him in a deal on the cheap. You don't have to give up much to get him in a deal here is Carroll. After he's been rock bottom all season, the last few games, May 17th versus the Tigers 0 for 4, May 18th versus the Tigers 1 for 4 run, May 19th versus the Tigers 1 for 4 run, May 20th at the Dodgers 1 for 5, and May 21st at the Dodgers, and that 1 for 4. So Carroll, he's struggling. We'll see if he can get things going. But right now, like I said, I will put an offer out there, because if Carroll starts turning things around sooner than later, then obviously the Carroll owner, he's waited all season for him to get going and most likely won't trade him. So this week, he's a buy low hitter. The next hitter, Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres. So Machado, we got off to a good start, but the last couple weeks, he's really slowed down in a big way on the season. 5 home runs, 25 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 22 runs scored, a 230 average, and a 283 on base. So he's not drawing a lot of walks. He's free swinging a lot, is Manny Machado. 45 strikeouts already this season. And the last couple weeks, no home runs, 4 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 3 runs scored, a 152 average, and 204 on base. So right now, Machado's struggling, and this is the time for fantasy owners to go out there and get him, in my opinion. And we haven't seen Machado even hit a home run since May 3rd as well. So it's been a long drought for him. May 17th at Atlanta 0 for 4, an RBI, a stolen base. May 19th at the Braves 2 for 4 with a run. May 20th at the Braves in a doubleheader 3 for 8, a run, 2 RBIs. And May 21st at the Reds 0 for 4. So right now, it's been a bad start for Machado, but we've seen a lot throughout his career. He's been a second half hitter more times than not. So right now, well, he's not producing at all over the last couple weeks here. He's a buy low hitter this week. Next hitter, Spencer Torkelson of the Detroit Tigers. So Torkelson last season, he had the breakout year with 31 home runs. And he was the number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball 3 seasons ago before he came up to the majors. So like I said, last season he did strike out a whole lot. He only hit 233, but the 31 homers and 94 RBIs. And so far this season, it's been a mighty struggle. 3 home runs, 17 RBIs, 21 runs scored, a 222 average, and a 285 on base. At Torkelson, the power's starting to come around a little bit, where all of his 3 home runs have come in the last 2 weeks here for this Detroit Tiger team. But like I said, if you're looking for pure power and someone who could turn it on pretty quickly, we saw last season in the second half, he was one of the best power hitters in all Major League Baseball. Where in the first half he didn't do much, and maybe he's a second half hitter as the weather warms up. May 17th at Diamondbacks 2 for 4, 2 runs. May 18th at the Diamondbacks 1 for 5 with a run. May 19th at the Diamondbacks 1 for 4, a homer, an RBI, 2 runs scored. May 20th at the Royals 0 for 4. May 21st at the Royals 0 for 3. So right now, while Torkelson off to a very slow start, and we haven't seen much out of him this season. He's a perfect buy low hitter. It's like if he could get the power going here, is Torkelson. He's one of the best pure power hitters in the league and can help fantasy owners, no doubt about it. The next hitter, Spencer Steer of the Cincinnati Reds. I know Steer's banged up day to day with an ankle injury here, is Steer, but it doesn't look like he's going to go on the IL. And even if he does, he's a hitter I would go out there and buy in my fantasy team, because we saw Steer last season have a big year. 23 homers, 86 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, a 271 average, and a 356 on base. And Steer, we know, qualifies at tons of positions, first, second, third, and outfield. Obviously great versatility. So the last couple weeks, numbers have been way down for Steer. No home runs, 8 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 3 runs scored, a 154 average, and a 298 on base. So right now, well, he struggled to steer mightily this month here and hasn't hit a home run since May 1st. He's a perfect buy low candidate this week. May 15th at Arizona 0-4. May 16th at the Dodgers 0-5. May 17th at the Dodgers 0-4 with an RBI. May 18th at the Dodgers 0-3. And May 19th at the Dodgers, he pinched it in that one and had an RBI on a walk. So right now, Steer, he's missed the last ball game. And we'll see here if Steer could get back on the field in a day or two for the Cincinnati Red team. But like I said, even if he makes a trip to the IL, even though it doesn't seem like he will, I still would try to buy him with his versatility and his upside in the ballpark he plays in. Obviously in Cincinnati is a bandbox as well. And the fifth and final hitter I look to buy and trade for is Randy Arozarena of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Arozarena, he's been on this list a few times already this season here, and it's been a down year for him. The power's been there with the 8 home runs, but everything else hasn't been great. 8 home runs, 18 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 22 runs scored, a 158 average and a 251 on base. In the last couple weeks, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, a stolen base, 7 runs scored, a 188 average and a 264 on base. So Arozarena is still showing some power, and he's still getting the stolen bases, but stolen bases are pretty easy to come by nowadays with the rule changes, obviously, over the last few seasons. So right here, Arozarena, the only positive he's pretty much showed is the power with the 8 home runs, where I think he still could finish with the 25 to 30, but the batting average and on base is way below the Mendoza line, especially for Arozarena standards, where we know he's been an all-star in his career. May 17th at Toronto, 1-4 with a run. May 18th at Toronto, 1-5 in that one. May 19th at Toronto, 0-4. May 21st versus the Red Sox, 1-4 with a run. So I know this Ray team, they've had a lot of injuries this season. And then Lau back in the lineup. You got Josh Lau back in the lineup as well over the last few days here. And those guys were big pieces to this offense the last couple seasons. So maybe that'll get Arozarena going a little bit, more protection in the lineup and better pitches to hit and stuff. So right now, well, he's struggling mightily as Arozarena, even though the only positive, he's still showing power, stolen base prowess. He's a hitter I look to buy this week. So that's a few hitters I look to buy and trade for week 8 of the fantasy baseball season.